Hi everybody, so before I get into this tutorial, I have a disclaimer. If I had one way to describe how I do my makeup for Twice, it would be messy. This is not like a professional, like sharp look by any means. It's basically me just throwing a bunch of shit onto my face. So if that's your thing, feel free to stick around, and if it's not, I'm sorry, that's what I've been doing. So yeah, I don't want you guys to think that I'm like being professional at all in this makeup time lapse, because I'm not. I'm literally just throwing shit around on my face. So without further ado, if that doesn't bother you, please enjoy and thank you for watching. Alright, welcome to the voiceover. I am starting with the ordinary primer. Any primer will do. It doesn't really matter which one you use, but I really like this one. I got it recently and it works well with the type of foundation that I like to use. Speaking of foundation, I am combining my Fenty Beauty foundation and my Sephora tinted moisturizer together. What this does is it thins out the foundation, and if you have dry skin like I do, the tinted moisturizer adds a little bit of moisture, as you could probably understand. And it still makes your skin look like skin while adding coverage. So as you can see, I'm not like a pancake. It still looks like skin, it's just a little bit more coverage. And when you still have stubborn spots, you can use a concealer. So I use the NARS Soft Matte Concealer. This is super expensive, like it's so expensive. It should not cost that much money. But you buy one pot and it lasts me like forever. So if you can, I recommend this concealer. But any concealer will do. The skin for this look doesn't matter too much. So that's that, and now I am setting with my airspun powder. I love this stuff. Make sure you don't go overboard, because you don't want to look like James Charles Flashback Mary, but I'm just putting it pretty generously over my face since it was 84 degrees in my apartment and really hot. Moving on to the eyebrows. I am using just some eyeshadow. This is sort of a coolish brown color. Any brown really is fine, since Twice doesn't really actually have eyebrows. I'm just drawing them on because covering mine is kind of a hassle and I didn't really feel like doing it. So I'm drawing them on pretty thick, making sure the top brow is nice and thick, and then I'm adding a little mountain. It's the only way I can describe it. A little mountain to the front of my brow. This just adds a little bit more emotion to the brows, and considering Twice is a pretty unstable character, I thought it would fit well for him. So I'm adding that. So next I'm going to be going in with a cool brown eyeshadow, and I'm just contouring my nose. This is the hardest part. I hate contouring my nose. So I'm just going in and just making my nose look a little bit narrower. This doesn't do too much, it just kind of highlights the contours of your face, which is what you really want to do if you're doing masculine makeup. And then this is actually like a different powder than the Airspun. This has actual pigment in it, and I'm just using that to brighten up the high points of my nose and clean up the edges. And here I go with the same color I used on my nose, starting off in the crease of my eyes. So just adding this into my eyes first, just to make it add depth. I'm going to be going in with more colors. This entire look is just me layering on different eyeshadows into my crease, just to add a little bit more sunkenness. And this is a Kaja Beauty Bento that I bought, and I'm just, as I said, layering it in, going a little bit more into my crease. And then the darker shade on the bottom of that little bento box thing. And I'm using a smaller brush for this, just to get it kind of packed into the deepest part of my crease, and that'll add like a lot more depth and make your eyes look a lot more defined. And I like to go all the way into the inner corners as well, just to make it look defined all the way through. I think I messed up because I just laughed. And then I'm taking my big fluffy brush and just marrying all the colors together a little bit to make it look a little bit more natural. Making funny faces at the camera, using a very dirty brush that I just had on hand and adding the same brown colors into my lower lash line. I decided to define it more after this with eyeliner, but of course you don't have to. You don't have to do anything I'm saying. And here's me tightlining, which is, as you can see, horrifying, and why I deleted it when I recorded my Shinso video. But yeah, for those of you who are wondering how I tightline, that's how. Got a little bit of eyeliner on my eyelid, so I'm just cleaning up my eyelids with a lighter eyeshadow just to create a discrepancy between my crease and my lid. And this is the Too Faced Cocoa Contour Palette. This thing is like a million years old, but I still use it. And here I'm just contouring my cheeks, going a little bit above the pit of my cheek and on my jawline. And this, I just go in. Like this is the part where I just go in. When you do that contour, if you're gonna do it like I'm doing it, you want to go all the way down to your jaw. And just think handsome Squidward if you're doing this look. And I like to go on my temples and on my forehead as well, just to add a little bit more warmth, so I don't look like a ghost. And then I go in with an even darker color on the most sunken parts of my cheeks, so like the very top. And then that's also warmer as well, so it warms you up even more. And pro tip, if you're contouring to look more masculine, filling in your Cupid's bow philtrum area with contour always helps to make your face look a little bit more defined and masculine. And this is where I decided to actually line my waterline, just because I wanted it to be a little bit more dramatic on the bottom. And I'm starting to sweat, as you can probably tell in the video, because it's really hot in my apartment when I was recording this, so. Blotting away the sweat, and I am using a brow gel or whatever, just something sticky that you have on hand, just to brush up my eyebrows and make them look a little bushier. Once again, Twice doesn't actually have eyebrows, but I'm doing this because I thought it would fit my headcanon a little bit if he did, because I really don't want to cover my eyebrows. That's for another day. And then just cleaning up the edges of my brows with concealer, because they got a little bit too messy for my liking. So you can always just put concealer on the top or underneath. And blending it out with my beauty blender. And just fixing the shape of my brows a little bit from what the concealer took off and what my beauty blender might have taken off, adding a little bit more peak to the brows. It's a great view of my neck right there. And this is just a ColourPop highlighter. For Twice, I actually don't highlight that much at all. I feel like it kind of detracts from the masculinity of the makeup sometimes, so I tend not to do too much. And then I'm taking that Fit Me powder I used earlier and just putting it above and below the areas of my cheeks where I was contouring, just for a little bit sharper of an edge, and on my nose. And this is a Tarte blush. It's the one that like everybody has, I think. If you had a birthday and shop at Sephora, you probably have used this. It's just a little tiny bit just to warm up my face. And here we go with the scar. This is probably the scariest part of the entire look, and the part that makes it definitively twice and not another character. So I'm starting with concealer, going approximately down my forehead in a straight line, and then I'm doing like sort of a sword shape and filling in the insides of between my brows, blending it out just a little bit, just so it doesn't look too harsh. But you still want to make it like defined, lighter than the rest of your skin. And then I'm just contouring the sides of where that scar area was. This isn't SFX makeup, by the way. This is just sort of a lazy version because I really didn't feel like, gluing stitches on my face, which I have done before, but it's just not very convenient for me. So with a black eyeliner, this is the Kat Von D Dagger one. I bought it because it was on sale and because that bitch is cancelled, so I bought her makeup, which I know makes no sense, but it was cheap, so I bought it. And I'm just drawing the little scar stitches in upside down U shapes, and then drawing just a line down through it, and then just going down again and redefining the line. And now moving on to the facial hair. I like to use a brown spoolie, like a spoolie with brown eyeshadow, and put it on my little mustache. I find it a little bit more realistic looking than just drawing on hair onto your mustache area, because it looks like you just have lines on your face, which is how it's gonna look on your chin and on your jaw, but it looks a little bit more realistic on those areas than on your mustache. And I'm going in and drawing little beard hairs, nothing too crazy. I like to use more than one shade of brown for this, just so it looks a little bit more natural, even though it's completely not natural. But stubble is hard, because you can't really glue anything onto your face for stubble, you just kind of have to figure it out, so this is how I do it. Yeah, and as you can see, I'm using more than one shade, so it adds a little bit more realism to it, even though it's, once again, completely fake looking. And I'm going upwards in sort of an upside down V shape on my chin, because that's sort of how I've noticed that men's hair seems to grow, and I couldn't turn off the camera, so yeah. And with that, this look is done. Oh, I have to set my face so I don't sweat everywhere. Jeffree Star is shaking. Alright everybody, so this is the finished outfit. I think I'm gonna give just a really quick rundown from top to bottom of what I'm wearing. So my wig is a Marty from Art of Wigs. It's actually the same that I use for Leon, but as you can see, I've sort of flattened it down and made it less poofy, so it just looks more of like a crew cut sort of thing. I know it's not completely canon, but it's really hard to do those really short hairstyles, so I've just made do with this for now. I actually got this on sale. It's a discontinued color. I don't remember if it was from Art of Wigs Canada or from Art of Wigs USA. Sorry, I'm really sweaty. But this color they don't come in this color anymore, but I'm sure you can find, if you want to cosplay Gene, you can find like a ton of other blonde shades that will work, because his hair is just sort of a nondescript blonde color. So the suit I actually got from AliExpress. It does come with like everything attached, like it comes with these little red things that he has on his arms, but I made them out of foam just so it looks more 3D. I've cut holes in the fingers so I can like actually do things, which I would totally recommend doing, because I didn't do that for KatsuCon 2019 and that shit was miserable because I could not really move anything or do anything in this suit. So definitely recommend peeing before you put the suit on, because it can be difficult to get out of. And especially considering that under here I'm wearing shapewear. So just because I don't want to look lumpy and bumpy, I put shapewear on to smooth myself out a little bit. I really recommend doing this if you feel a little bit insecure about wearing like a jumpsuit like I am, because it adds a lot more structure and like it just makes your legs look a little bit more shapely and tucks in your stomach a little bit. So if you're insecure about those areas, I highly recommend just investing in some shapewear. Mine was from H&M. I got it in Canada, so I don't know if they have it in the US, but it works wonders and it is super, super convenient. So I'm sure you can find it for cheap in other places. Just anything that just says that it'll smooth you out is definitely good to wear under a one-piece jumpsuit. The bracelets, like I said, are made by me, just foam, hot glue, nothing fancy. And then the shoes, these are actually white go-go boots that my boyfriend generously gave me, that I painted with leather paint. Acrylic paint will flake off, don't use that. Use leather paint if you can find it. I got mine at Desserts. I don't know if that's a thing in America, but you can also try Michael's, AC Moore, craft stores. They definitely have it. And my contacts, I forgot about these. Completely optional, considering that his eyes are a very nondescript color, but I opted for blue just because it was what I had. They're the Blissful Blue from Kazue, I think. I got them from ohmykitty.com. Super comfortable. They do make my eyes a little bit red, but after a while it fades away, so it's fine. And yeah, my camera's about to die, so I hope you enjoyed. Oh my god, I'm so sweaty. It's like 84 degrees in here, so I'm very sweaty. But I hope you really enjoyed my tutorial. I'm sorry that I disappeared for so long. Just a lot of things happened in my life and I couldn't really get back to YouTube for a while. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.